to another exciting episode of the Champions Den on Novent TV. This is a program where we share experience of men who has crossed the bridge to success. I am Naomi Oba. Today we'll be meeting an important couple who will be telling us their life's experience. Most of the time, we wonder the glowing of people in success, and some other time, we speculate how they acquire it. Let's find out from this couple when we come back. Welcome back. Like I said earlier, that we're meeting a wonderful couple, and they are here with me live. You're welcome to this program.
Thank you.
And I want to say thank you for having me today.
You're welcome.
Like since I walked in, you've just been looking. I've been looking at your beauty. You're looking so radiant.
Thank you. That's the glory of God.
All right. So we'll start by asking this question, and I really want to start with her because they always say ladies first. So we're starting with her. So please, can you tell us who you are? Who are you?
I'm Pastor Mrs. Shola Amozi.
Okay.
And I was being born into a family of 6 in number by Mr. and Mrs. Olufemi Momo.
Okay.
I was born in Ogun State. I attended my primary school in St. Michael Nigerian Primary School in Ogun State. Proceeded to Kwara State, Jashegbu Comprehensive High School.
Okay.
And also I had my diploma in human kinetics at Obafemi Awolowo University.
Wow.
And also obtained my bachelor degree in human kinetics and health education at Ado-Ekiti. That is Federal University of Ado-Ekiti.
Okay.
Futa. And also I'm into business and married to Pastor Joseph Amuzi. And I also have 5 children, grown-up children now.
Wow.
To the glory of God.
That's really nice. Okay, let's start with you now, and let's say, how was growing up like? Like while you were growing up,
yeah.
How was growing up like? How did you grow up? What was your experience while growing up?
Well, my experience while growing up wasn't that easy because I lost my dad when I was very, very small.
Oh.
So it was my mom and my eldest brother that actually took care of us.
Okay.
So I'm from Delta State. So my mom managed to see us through university level. So ever since then, knowing my background and how I was brought up, I was fully determined that I must be somebody to be reckoned with in my generation.
Okay, before we start talking about your determinations,
yes.
How was your mom able to bring you up in, like, how was it able to carry out those responsibilities after the death of your father?
I would say my mom is a disciplinarian, and she is also hardworking.
What does she do?
She does farming and petty business.
Okay, is your wife also from Delta State?
My wife is from Kogi State.
Wow. So let me ask you, how did you meet your husband?
I met my husband 1998 at Alta Diagnosis Center where he worked. Actually, I went out for evangelism.
Okay, I thought you wanted to tell me that you went for a diagnosis.
No, I went out for an evangelism.
Okay.
No, we'll be given I attended one church, upgrowing church, living water church.
Okay.
So, and the pastor gave us a magazine, a church magazine. He said we should reach out to people. So I actually went to his place of work. I knew somebody there, I had a friend there. So I went there to give them the magazine, also, to get something for the church. On getting there, he saw me and he was like, telling that my friend, I like this lady, I want to marry her. And I said, I can't marry him.
For real?
Because we are not from the same
State.
state. Then I said, I can marry. Then he was looking very, very young, like a very young guy. And I look at him and say, this young guy, I can't marry him. He's too young for me. Like, he was looking very young then, like somebody that just graduated from school. And I was like, he's too young for me, because then we always have this mentality that when you marry somebody that is older than you, very well,
yes, the person who can take care of you
very well. So I was like, no, it's too young for me to marry that. I cannot marry somebody that is as young as that. So that was how I met him then.
Okay.
So he couldn't even come to me that I like you, I want to marry you. Then he was going through that my friend. Whom they worked together then, and it was like that my friend was the one passing the message to me, this my friend is disturbing me. He said he want to marry you, something like that. Then that my friend was like, even if you don't want to marry, just tell him yes, you will marry him, we are going to be friends, so that he will stop disturbing me.
But before then, was he the first person you ever met as a man?
No.
So what happens between, like, you have dated someone before?
Yes, I've dated a pastor. The church I was attending then, I was, that pastor like wanted to marry me, and we are from the same state, the same place, we speak the same language, and my mom was like, oh, you are going to marry this man because we speak the same language. So my mommy was like, that's the person I must marry, because I lost my daddy too when I was very, very young. So I grew up with my mom too. So she was like, this is the person I'm going to marry. So I was with the pastor then, still watching him. So I couldn't say yes for him because I was with the pastor then. But inside me, I knew that despite that we speak the same language,
there was still no connection.
No connection, that this man, I'm not with the right person. I don't tell my mom like something like I was being forced into the relationship. So I just tell my mom, I don't think I can marry this man. No, I don't love him. My mom was like, you will love him later. When you marry him, you're going to love him. Love will just come like that. That feel it. Love is feeling.
And it will grow.
It will grow.
That's the mentality.
Yes, it's just because you are just thinking negatively. That's why you are not having anything for him. And by the time you marry him, start feeling it, and it will grow. So then I didn't even have anything. I was like, this relationship cannot work.
Okay, all right. Before we continue from there, while you were still chasing after her, you were working. But how buoyant was your financial status at that time?
Way back in 1998, we know the economy of this country. I left Kaduna because I did my NYSC in Kaduna 1990, early 98.
Okay.
Yes, I left Kaduna early 98. We came back and I settled in Ottawa where I was working. I was given accommodation within the office premises. I think what they were paying me then is 5,000 naira per month.
Per month?
Yes.
How did you get your connection to Otta?
It was through a friend, my old school friend.
Okay.
So we both finished from Uniben, but he was my senior colleague. So I came through him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's hear the story of how your financial status at that time.
Well, as at then, we see that 5,000 naira is fairly okay for me.
Okay.
Because I discovered that out of that 5,000 naira, I can still make savings of 3,000. That is number one. And number two, then I was not born again. So if you work in the lab, there is no how you will be broke.
Okay.
So on daily basis, even within 2 weeks or within a week, I would have made that 5,000.
So you're making the outside job.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is what kept me going.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us on the program, it is the Champions Den, and I have been discussing with Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Amosien. Okay, now I want to ask this other question, and how were you able to overcome your challenges?
Yeah, I told you when we started, those of my friends, they deserted me. Though some of them, our work took them to Abeokuta.
Okay.
So eventually I started going to church with my wife. So as we are getting committed in the things of God, I discovered that each time I visit her now, the mom will gladly accept me.
You.
So she was not saying anything again until one day I told my wife that I want to travel to my place, that I would like both of us to go together. Because she cannot marry somebody without knowing where the person is coming from. So the mom was afraid. He said though she will allow her to go, but one person must follow her. But eventually we went alone.
Okay.
So it was when we traveled and we came back, my wife told her she's from a lively family, everybody accepted me, and there was no problem.
Okay.
So since then, she became my mother.
That's a very nice story. But back to you, while you were explaining on how you met your first man, that is the pastor, and after the breakup you said that you decided not to go for a Christian brother. Now, what attracted you to him? Because at that time he said he wasn't born again.
Yeah.
Now, what attracted you to him?
I just look at him, he's gentle. One of the characteristics that I needed in a man is tolerance, and he can endure so many things. Somebody that temperamental.
Okay.
You know, little things get me furious.
Yeah.
And he is the kind of person that is quiet, calm, and those are the things I look at in him that really make me say, okay, he's somebody that I can stay with.
Okay.
Somebody that can.
Now that you're married, do you fight? Like misunderstandings?
Yeah. Initially, the first 5 years of our marriage, sometimes we do argue, over things. I want to say something that, marriage is in stages.
Yeah.
The first 5 years is a year that you really need to know true character of each other.
Yeah.
Like he's coming from a different background, I'm from a different background. So we are now coming together as a different person, trying to be one. So the first 5 years is not going to be easy like that. So we do have our differences sometimes. He's the kind of person that doesn't count on so many things.
Yeah.
Something that can look like it's not supposed to
He easily lets go.
Let's go. I mean, I was like, no, it's not supposed to be like this.
Okay.
So later we go to know each other, and since then no problem. But the first 5 years wasn't easy.
Okay. Now that after those times you argue, have you given birth then?
My firstborn, yeah. I've given birth to my first son. Then. Second, third.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you argue in their presence? Or do they know about some of those arguments?
Sometimes we argue in their presence.
No, okay. Let me ask this. What was your worst experience?
Is it bad the marriage or
in any aspect, in every area of your life, like everything you have acquired, professionally, maritally, what worst experience have you encountered?
Actually, my worst experience was in the year 1998, early 98. What actually kept me in the West here when I left Kaduna, my intention was to come down to Lagos, process my document and travel abroad.
Okay.
But eventually when I came, the person that we're supposed to travel together now told me that they are traveling through land. And I'm the type of person that read a lot. And I know what is happening to them along the way. I decided that no, I will stay here. They got me a job in my state, and the salary is supposed to be ×2 of
what you were receiving
what I
here.
was receiving here. But when I look at it, I have some brothers who did not go to school, maybe like just secondary school or technical school. They are working in oil company.
Okay.
So if I that call myself a graduate, working in civil service commission, I would discover that the salary that they are paying me is their 1 week allowance.
Okay.
So, and it's money that makes the difference. I look at it, I said, no, if I stay in this zone, I will not earn respect from these people. Let me go to civil service area and settle down. And I really thank God for my wife. She encouraged me that please don't go, stay here. God will help you in this place. So because she was prayerful and I have to key to that vision, and before I know it, the way she said it, that was the way it happened.
Now, with everything you have just explained, which of your experience do you think that you have ever encountered that you can never forget, that has really made you sober, it has really made you sad, that it really touched your heart?
It was failure in that traveling.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now that you did not travel, how did you overcome? Like, some people will feel so sad.
Yeah.
To an extent, like what we have now. Some people will feel so sad, like taking insecticides, killing themselves, committing suicide, and all of that. But what did you do to overcome that self-regret for not traveling?
So during that period, I picked up a job with a private hospital, and I worked with that man for about 3 months without salary.
That's serious.
That one is another bitter experience. So it was when I left that man, I now came into water. Here I met my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But since then, I don't think there is anything to regret about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mommy will be telling us how. I want you to tell us how you correct your children, but we will obviously be discussing about that when we return from this break. Still with Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Amoziem, we want to ask that what's your educational qualification?
I'm a medical lab scientist.
Okay.
I majored, that is specializes in hematology and immunology.
Okay. From childhood while growing up in
Yeah.
your educational career,
Yeah.
was that what you aspired to study from childhood?
Anyway, from childhood, I really wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I earlier said, because of my family background, when I left secondary school, there was no time, maybe no money to send me to JAM for extramural classes for JAM.
Okay, that is a tutorial.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to prepare myself. So I took medicine as my first choice. The medical laboratory sciences as second choice. So when I discovered that I could not make it for medicine, I have to
switched to
as a medical lab.
Okay.
scientist.
So how did you feel by switching? What were the challenges you had? How were you able to overcome those challenges?
Although initially I did not really like it, because even my first year in the university, I still took JAM.
Okay.
So unfortunately, as at the time they want to write the JAM examination, we were having our second semester exam.
Okay.
So I decided that since I've been given this, so let me concentrate on my university examination.
Okay, that means the school actually gave you the laboratory course.
Yeah.
Oh, so and you went for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So was there any time by your parents you were deprived of anything?
No.
Your parents never deprived you of anything.
Mm.
That means they supported you all through
Yeah.
every of your decisions, whatever career you carried.
Yeah.
All right. Back to you. You were giving us a story about how you met your husband. Now, you said you met this man who was from the same state with you, but something along the line came up. Now, how were you able to convince your mom that this man is who I will die for? This man is who I want to have. Now, how were you able to do that?
Actually, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. Like, remember there was a day my husband came to our house and my mom was like,
Hope she did not pour water.
no, she's like,
Because mothers don't actually do that.
Yes,
Some mothers do
she
that.
really embarrassed my husband.
Oh my
Leave my
God.
daughter alone. Don't come to my house. I don't want to see you again in this place. And I was like, no, leave this man. This is the person I want to marry. Because his character really suits mine. He's gentle, he's kind, he's caring. And he is God-fearing.
Okay.
He has the fear of God. Those are the things I look out in him. And whatever I want to do, then he really supports me. Unlike the other guy, hates education. He will be telling me. Then I was like, I met him when I was planning to enter university. He really wanted to discourage me from entering.
How many years did you spend with him?
It wasn't long like that. I left him immediately.
You discovered those
Yes,
traits.
those tricks, and it's not stable. I discovered it was like going out with my best friend.
But he was a pastor.
Yeah, but it wasn't disciplined.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was going out with my best friend, and this lady, she's my friend, you know. I gained admission before her. So when I went back to school, we were together. And anytime I come home, he will be disturbing me. Let's go to your friend's place. Let's go to your friend's place. You know, the way he will be talking about my friend. I told my mom that something is happening between this man and my friend. That my spirit tells me so.
Okay.
And my mom was like, no, she doesn't think something like that
Can happen.
can happen.
Okay.
And later, I discovered that they were both together. So that was what ended.
Now, how were you able to handle that fact? Like, you were heartbroken, obviously, but how were you able to handle it?
And then when I faced a disappointment, when I was disappointed through this man, I made up my mind. I'm not going to date any Christian. It really made me to like almost backslide. I was like, if the man of God can do this, I'm not going to marry anybody that tells me he's a pastor.
You felt the pastors will be the same.
Yes. Whenever, even died back in the university, when I attend my fellowship, whenever any man of God is preaching, I'm like, oh, what does he have to say? They are the same inside me. I never knew they were not. So it really made me not to believe in anybody. Like, I want to be on my own.
Then how were you able to overcome that?
Okay, it was before the incident happened, I've met my husband. Then I have not really given
in.
Yes, I met him. I was like, I've forgotten that issue.
Okay.
Like 3-4 months, we've not been seeing again. Everybody on their own. That first meeting, like when that friend was like his colleague and my friend was like, I'm not interested in anybody. Let me be on my own.
Alright.
Let me face my education. So I was like alone then. So because the incident that happened between me and that person almost made me to lose hope on children of God. That I'm not interested. If I want to marry anybody that comes, once I see the guy is good, gentle, if the person suits what I really needed in a man, then I will allow him. Most especially somebody that have the fear of God, not somebody that carry title now. So
Okay.
I was like that then. So then I have not been seeing him again. Like my husband, I have not seen him again for so many months.
Okay.
When I was through with my education, almost rounding up my diploma, doing my project, I met that my friend and we worked together and he said, that guy is still disturbing me. I said, leave me alone, I'm not interested in that guy. So it's like later I went back to their office to visit that my friend. It's late now. So it's like, this my guy is still disturbing me now. Do something. I said, okay. And the guy was like, you can even be friends, just ordinary friends. Just be friends.
And let's know if the love will grow.
Yes, even if you don't have anything in mind.
Okay.
Just say, okay, we can be friends. So when like he was disturbing me, say, how are you? And I told him, okay, we can be friends. Nothing else. Just friends. Anytime I'm around, I say hello. Then there was nothing like phone, this mobile phone then. So there was no way we could communicate.
Okay.
Rather than maybe if you see somebody coming to my school, we write the letter. My room address and say give it to her, something like that. So we're just like ordinary friend, nothing, no attachment. If I'm in school, if you see somebody coming, you write letter. If any of my roommates is coming back down home, I will say, even if the person is in Lagos, I will say, please help me go to Ogun State. Give this person.
Okay.
And the letter was like maybe sometime when I'm in need. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So we're just ordinary friends.
Okay. But now, is that your friend and the pastor, did they end up together?
No.
And you did not find out
I
how?
didn't find out.
Okay. That's nice. How did you feel when you actually when the parents finally accepted you? What was your feeling? What was the arrangement and the feeling you had then?
Initially when I started going there, the mom objected it. She said, this is Omo Igbo. In Igbo land, they used to eat human beings. You understand?
Okay.
That you will not allow her daughter to marry an Igbo man. I told Mama, look, I am not an Igbo man. I am from Delta. There is difference between a Delta man and an Igbo person. He said, no, anything from Edo State, they are Igbos. So for that reason, no, that she is not interested.
Okay, what was your reaction when you were finally accepted?
As I have earlier said, initially my mother-in-law did not accept that relationship. And even if both of us were together, but he said no. But I said I will not give up because most of my friends, the people I call my friends, as soon as I started dating my wife, all of them ran away from me.
Why did your friend leave you? Because of your woman?
Actually, they thought they were helping me because I came in from Kaduna to Lagos.
Okay.
And they know more of Lagos than myself. So when they saw her, they said, this one is too flashy. This is supposed to be for rich men.
Oh, they saw you not to be a rich man.
God bless you.
Okay. And then they will say it's difficult for you to be able to maintain her.
I now ask those my friends, what gave you the impression that I'm not a rich man? So for this statement that you have made, I am not going to quit from this relationship.
Okay.
Yes, so that was how it all began. Apart from that, I had challenges because the mom was against the relationship and my mommy too was equally against the relationship.
That's serious.
Yes. So, from my area, whether you are around or not, they can prepare somebody for you that this is somebody you want to marry.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they came up with that option, I told my mom, I can't do that because I am learned. So you cannot tell me who to marry, because this is somebody that I'm going to spend the whole of my life with. So let me go for what I want. So I kept on coming to their place every evening. So later she went back to school. I discovered that anytime she want to come for weekend, instead of going to their house, she will now come to my own